Hello and welcome to another NBA DFS pre-lock live stream. My name is Jon Jansen. Follow me at jjansen34, joined by the star of the show. Follow him at DFS_Ghost. And you can sign up for windailysports.com for all the tools, whether it's projection models, optimizers to help you out with NBA and building some lineups. And also go to the Sharp app. This is all sponsored by the Sharp app, sharp.app. Find out all the ways you can download the Sharp app. And you can find some nice bets over on the Sharp app. So go check that out. Ghost, 6 games. And, we're getting better, right? Things are getting better. Are they getting any better? Please tell me they're getting better.
Yeah, so most players are getting healthier, and I think we could speak for everybody pretty much, not just professional athletes. Everyone's doing the best that they can. So
yes,
we got to do what we got to do. Bradley Beal just landed back in. I want to say back because it's not his first time in health and safety protocols. So we got some dominoes falling early on in the first game.
Yes, we do. Let's start off with it's only 6 games, so. At the top, it's sort of thin at the top. Where are we going? Obviously, we have 2 of your favorite players over there in the top 2. But where we're going, it's not as large of a field in terms of some of these top, 10K, 9K guys.
Yeah, the league's in trouble now. Like you can't double Steph Curry, and that's a problem. That's a serious problem because if you're leaving Klay Thompson in single coverage, that is also a problem. So
can't do that. How do you think he looked?
Like you guys saw, I don't know if you don't follow me on Twitter, you didn't see it, but that was a great night for the entire NBA community. Obviously a great night for Klay Thompson, and I was
the
so
shooting
pumped to see him back out there.
Phenomenal form.
Smooth as ever.
Yeah, it's taking
18 shots in 20 minutes. Yeah. That was classic Klay, and it's just it was great to see him out there, and he looked really good. He showed some bounce. His dribbling was on point back to what it always was, and seeing him cross over Jared Allen is obviously it's Jared Allen on the perimeter D there. It's not like he crossed up Jrue Holiday or an elite perimeter defender and Jared Allen, but he still crossed them up, and that dunk over 3 Cavs was absolutely nice to see, and the mean mug after it was just great to see that game. So great to see Klay Thompson back out there, and we get to see him again tonight in a potential Western Conference Finals preview between the Warriors and the Grizzlies.
Yeah. It's a good one. So Steph Curry, then, is he one in our lineups? Obviously, the pace of that game may be in our favor a little bit here. Obviously, the scoring with John Morant and Steph Curry going back and forth, and with Memphis playing as well as they are. Is that a game that we kind of want a piece of?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no way I don't play at least one Warrior and one Grizzly in my lineup. I just don't know if I could get to Curry because there's no way I'd fade Nikola Jokic tonight. So
nice.
That's the only thing with a smaller slate comes.
Yeah, I think Jokic against the Clippers. That's not a bad call.
It's tough not to love Joker in this spot. I haven't projected to lead the slate in scoring by a 15-point margin, I believe.
I was going to say, how wide of a margin? Because I imagine it's going to be
pretty wide. So when I end up seeing that, that's when, it's not about the flame emoji that Draftkings puts beside someone's name if they're going off. It's not about anything like that. It's I need on the small slate, you absolutely need the guy that leads the slate in scoring, and that tonight has to be Nikola Jokic for me. Yeah. So I don't think I'm going to end up pairing him with Curry, but if you do end up fading Joker, and I'll talk about that towards the end of the show because it's our last game on the slate. I'll talk about that strategy. If you guys want to explore that, that's up to you. Just personally, I'm going to be locking in Nikola Jokic.
Love it. So actually, let's go to that Golden State Memphis game now, because it's one of my favorite games, and it's the best game in terms of watchability on the slate. But you said you at least want to get one Golden State, one Memphis guy. Obviously, if the guy in Golden State is not Steph Curry, that leads me to be really interested in who the Golden State player is, or what the player
absolutely.
Pool is
And for me, the hole that we need to exploit is that Draymond Green is not playing in this one, right? So he did have calf tightness, and we all saw on Twitter what was going on with under bets and everything like that. Yeah. Shout out Draftkings for paying all those out, because that was the right thing to do. And you guys know me, I'm a straight shooter. I would have, whether it's agreeing with the field or disagreeing with the field, I'll say what I think. And that was 100% the right move, because the player did in fact check in the game, Doesn't matter if he recorded that foul or not. It wasn't about the fact that he recorded a stat. It was the fact that he checked into the game.
Minute.
So,
you checked in and logged minute.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what every sports book will say with player props is that the player does have to play. You will see some books where, depending on the sport, they'll say that someone has to start. We see that in soccer, for example, where someone does have to start and they can't sub in, etc. So it's nothing too complicated when it comes to NBA player props. If someone logs a minute, they're active, they're good to go. Draymond was on that court, whether it was for 6 seconds or not, he played. So he's out tonight. It's not Clay Day. It's just Clay Day 2.0, if you want to call that. But Dre is sitting this one out with calf tightness, and there are a ton of minutes to exploit in that front court. If Otto Porter Jr. goes tonight, he's still listed as questionable. I do like Otto Porter Jr., or you could turn to Andre Iguodala as well.
Andre Iguodala. Wow.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go out and say that with the fate of the universe on the line, I want Andre Iguodala taking a shot over Steph Curry. I'm not gonna go out and say that like that infamous line there on first take, but I will say that I do like Andre Iguodala tonight. Minutes should be in the 20s once again. I haven't projected for just slightly over that. And right now,
Andre Iguodala is still logging minutes like this and playing well. I don't get it.
He's just he's obviously
so
he doesn't have the same
man.
bounce. He doesn't have the same bounce like what we used to see him in a Sixers jersey. You got the joy of watching him in his prime, and he had some serious bounce in that Sixers era.
That was one of the most electric athletes I've ever seen on a basketball court. And that's not me like being like just saying that. He was an amazing athlete.
Yeah, absolutely. So from what I was seeing, it looks like both Gary Payton and Otto Porter should be playing, but you never know with Otto Porter. He was pretty banged up. So it's one thing to monitor, but either way, I do like Andre Iguodala, and should Otto Porter Jr. end up getting cleared for this game, I do like him if you're able to spend the extra money there on Draftkings and get up to Otto Porter Jr. as well. Both of them are good. And whether Porter plays or not, I do like Andre Iguodala.
And the Memphis side, you said you want a player out of there too. What are the few players that you want?
All in on one of my top 3 most improved players this year, and that's Desmond Bane.
Love it, dude. A lot of Bane this season for you. I love it.
I don't know if there's a player that I've been talking up as much as Desmond Bane.
No, you really have, and it's great.
Season, so,
I love that though. Yeah, you've been really talking about Bane a lot.
I'm going to keep riding the hot hand, and he's just been playing phenomenal basketball. No Dylan Brooks out for the Grizzlies, and he's really taken over that role where when Ja's off the court, Bane isn't. And that is absolutely huge. You're able to have a guy that can play a 3-and-D type of style of basketball from the 2 spot. It's absolutely huge in this matchup, likely lining up on Klay Thompson and Andrew Wiggins. It's a daunting task for the sophomore, but I absolutely love Desmond Bane today, and that is actually my top bet of the night as well. We're 6-1 in our last 7.
Nice.
For those of you that don't follow me on Twitter, please do. I usually put them out on Twitter for everybody. There's no contingency to that. It's simply on Twitter. Just follow for some good memes.
Just follow at DFS_ghost for Kool-Aid gifts and Kool-Aid guy gifts and Draftkings or whatever.
Yeah, follow for some bets, and then stay for the memes and the gifts. So Desmond Bane over 17.5 points. It was -105 over at Caesars and MGM. The highest I saw the line was -110. So depending on which book you like to use, that's up to you. If you're in a state that allows legal gambling, Desmond Bane over 17.5 points is Desmond Bane over 17.5 points is my top bet of the night.
Fire up FVV. Are we on that? Are we on the Fred VanVleet train? All aboard!
Yeah. So I ended up writing up this scenario because I had some news as of last night that neither Gary Trent or Scotty Barnes were playing in this one. I did take Fred VanVleet's PRA at 33.5 as one of my player props tonight as well.
Now, how does that change things for DFS though? Because obviously, like you said, it's all about Jokic, but is there still enough there to fit in even a 9.6 FEV? Obviously, we couldn't fit the 10K Steph, but is Fred in there?
It ends up being tough, right? Like that's a spot where you're kind of stooping.
Hey, look, it's a good start getting a 3.8K Iguodala in there. I mean, makes
Yeah,
no sense.
absolutely. You would have to go to, someone that I do like in this game, regardless, is Jay Crowder on the other side at 3,900. That's someone that I wrote up with Cam Johnson being out. So if you want to, pair two studs with two values, it would likely be Andre Iguodala and Jay Crowder for me with Joker, and then whether it be Steph. I'm not playing Ja tonight just because I'm all in on Desmond Bane, but
Yeah.
if you do end up playing Ja, that is more than okay as well. So that would be the strategy for me, is that whatever stud that you end up playing, you do have to pair that with a value right away to kind of see where the landscape of your
Look,
lineup is going to be at.
yeah,
And
I would
it's
say
more than
you can
feasible at 47.
you can work with this. Yeah, you can work with this with 4,700 left. You can work with that with 3 spots left.
Absolutely. Yeah, for me, the one thing that's important to note when you're building like this is that you're likely fading the first game altogether.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it ends up being a little tough. So
you like the first game then?
I do. I wrote this up from a GPP perspective that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is way underpriced, right? So no matter what the circumstances are, $7,600 SGA will always interest me, and I'd put him as a player to watch, depending on what
Does he
roster
interest you more so than like a Fred VanVleet? Let's just say if we're obviously, I don't know if we can do the values like we have, but would you rather opt for SGA over Fred and be able to build a little bit more in that mid range?
Well, for me, it would be more so of a combo. Comparing
Okay.
them 1-to-1 for me is not something that I would like to do, just because it's exactly $2,000 difference in salary and it's completely different expectations. But when you're looking at raw ceiling, they both have very similar, if not identical, ceilings when it comes to that 60 to 65 point range for both of them on DK. That's likely, I don't want to say a career game for them, but pretty close to that, right? So when it comes to ceiling games for both of these guys, I do give the scoring edge to SGA over Fred. Fred's got to get real hot from deep for him to touch 30 points like he did just a couple days ago there. It's when his shot is really dropping, right? So the rebounds and the assists are going to come for Fred. It's the opposite for SGA, but SGA definitely has the better bounce, better shot, just all around offensive touch. I do give the edge to SGA over FEV. So, I mean, it's really two comparable players. Just one of them offers massive savings. Depends on if you want to get Spencer Dinwiddie in your lineup. That's the main thing that I want to highlight, is that if you want to go with back and forth in this game, Spencer Dinwiddie obviously taking over primary ball handling roles now that Bradley Beal's in health and safety protocols. And there's no way I'm touching this front court because Rui Hachimura is back. Although it is on a minutes limit, he's still back. Yeah. It's a hit to Gafford. It's a hit to Avdija. Montrezl Harrell's back, he also takes a hit, even though he's back in the lineup and he affects other players. He himself is also affected because of the fact that front court is, and I wrote this up in my preseason preview, is that it ends up being a decently crowded front court out there in Washington. So I'm not touching the front court, but I do like a little back and forth between SGA and Dinwiddie. Just be aware that they're likely going to be two of the top 5 to top 10 most rostered players on this slate.
So we actually talked about most of these games so far. Now that we got through Washington, we went through this, we went through Golden State, Denver, and the Clippers a little bit. Anything outside of Jokic for Denver and Los Angeles?
Yeah, so we'll end it like that. Just that, I said that I would talk about the scenario where you are not playing Jokic. You would need two Denver Nuggets. So that's the way I'll kind of end the show, is that if you're not playing Jokic for whatever reason, you guys have your own reasons, and that's fully supported as long as you do have your reasons. And if you're not playing Jokic, then you do need two Denver Nuggets. And Will Barton landed in health and safety protocols from what seems to be like 24 hours ago, and he got upgraded to questionable for this one. So that for me is real spicy, because that sounds like more of a testing negative thing, and not that he's actually healthy or not, right? So like that for me, it's like it's more so, can he clear protocols, meaning can he test negative enough times for that game? So that's real spicy, and it's something to keep an eye on. But again, it's, if you're not playing Joker, you need two Nuggets, Monte Morris, Campazzo. If you want to take a shot on Bones Highland, but he needs to be first man off the bench, and Will Barton needs to be off. So that's the one thing. You would need Campazzo and Monte Morris starting in this game if you want to play Bones. If that scenario is not exactly the way that I just drew it up, then you can't play Bones. And then there's Aaron Gordon in the front court. I'm not entirely a big fan. The Clippers do have some solid 3-and-D wings, Terrence Mann, Marcus Morris as well. There could play some decent defense, but again, you're playing Joker or you're playing 2 Nuggets because this game will be high scoring and you need a solid piece of it.
Hart or Dinwiddie?
Dinwiddie for me.
Nice.
If like Josh Hart is ridiculous chalk right now. If you're gonna be eating chalk, I'd rather take a primary ball handler against OKC than I will.
Beautiful. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. All right, we're gonna keep it short there, guys. We'll go over one lineup real quick because I know we like to do it. SGA, Bane, Giddey, Crowder.
I just wouldn't play Giddey with SGA. If you're playing SGA, you want that ceiling game, right? So you got to come off Giddey, and I wouldn't play Neto in this spot unless he's popping in the model. Obviously, I haven't checked in the last 25 minutes while I'm on here with you guys, but if he's popping in the model, cool. But you do need to swap out Giddey there if you're playing SGA. Not that they both can't get there, but you want SGA to really have a ceiling game, and he can't do that if Giddey's coming close to a triple-double.
Love it. That's going to wrap things up here for the NBA DFS pre-lock live stream. As always, Ghost, 15, 16 minutes of just pure damn gold. This is all sponsored by the Sharp app. Go to sharp.app. Find out all the way you can download the Sharp app. Google Play Store, Apple App Store. Get some bets for the NBA tonight, and also get the bets from Ghost at DFS_Ghost on Twitter. Make sure to subscribe. WinDailySports.com, projection model optimizer, everything to get you set for NBA and beyond. There's a golf live stream tonight at 8 o'clock. Make sure to check that out right here at WinDailySports.com. As for the NBA, we'll be back tomorrow with more NBA action right here at WinDailySports.com.